What's up guys, it's Day. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about a couple of tips that I use when I'm shopping for vintage items. So let's get into it. So the first tip, know the price market of the item. So this basically means go across different websites, maybe different social media platforms, and if you are searching for a particular item, try to find the best deal on that item. Sometimes we forget that DIYs do exist and that we can achieve some of those washes, some of those unique detailings and distressing that an item might have that appears to be vintage and get a better bang for our buck. I think that I've done that a couple of times with like t-shirts and just sun fading them or something like that. So that adds to the subjective pricing of a garment. And once you understand that, you can basically have more control over yourself with buying vintage items. Tip number 2 kind of sounds like I'm a preschool professor, but always be respectful. You know, when we're having a dialogue with a seller or a buyer, doesn't matter the position that we're in, it is definitely imperative that we give a little bit of empathy and a little bit of understanding of pricing. Sometimes it is absurd, but there are other considerations of why a seller or a buyer may be pricing things at their own rate, I guess. You know, there's labor costs, there's age, there's wash, there's model, there's rarity. There are a lot of factors into pricing, and so don't let that discourage you from just negotiating respectfully with that seller. Tip number 3, learn about garment you're searching for. Vintage replicas exist, so if possible, learn about garments that have a higher pricing. So for example, Levi Big E jackets have replicas or fakes, so I would be more knowledgeable on what I'm looking for. There's nothing wrong with wearing replicas of anything. I'm just mainly saying this for those that really want to buy a vintage garment and learn the authentication process behind it, and that can go brand to brand, and there are a plethora of videos that can help you narrow down that search and become more knowledgeable about garments before buying, because it does suck sometimes if you're unaware and buy a piece that may not be true to what you thought it could be. Tip number 4, find shops that cater to you. This one is very important to me because this is how I build relationships and friendships through social media. With combining the other tips, it definitely helps me, I guess, understand what I'm looking for and not having to look too hard for what I'm looking for. Once you find a nice, sweet curation of your favorite shops, shopping for vintage becomes remotely easy, and you've already built up that dialogue and that, I guess, customer relationship with the seller or buyer, and it's a wonderful experience once you start to have that. So I would definitely try to find shops and stick to them that particularly cover what you're looking for, or that consistently kind of output things that you like. And the last tip is to pay attention to sizing. This is the most detrimental tip. If there's no other tip that you follow, please follow this one. There has been so many times I've personally taken an L and had to relist an item because I failed to ask for measurements. Vintage garments also shrink due to time of washing, so once that happens, you know, the garment that says size large could honestly fit like a size small. So it's very important that you ask for measurements upon considering an item. Alright, so that's all the tips that I have. I hope that they better serve you. If you have tips for vintage shopping, leave them in the comment section down below. I would love to know some that I may not actually know at all. So, you know, if you've got some tips, I'd love to check them out. Also, if you're new here, hello. I've seen that I'm gaining some subscribers, so welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you aren't following me on Instagram, it's right on the screen. And as always, my name is Day. Have a good day. Peace out.